Okay, I'm going to try a full exam question here with you. So the first one isn't too bad. The basic thing you have to do is move that 2 up as a minus 2. And then you have to integrate it just your normal way. Make sure when you add 1 to that minus 2, add 1 as minus 1. The x reappears and your 2, 1. So you'll tidy that up, sub in 2, sub in 1, and take it from there. Number 2, you've got this here curve. You have to find what crosses the x-axis. So you put y equals 0. So 0 equals x minus 2 squared. You put each bit equal to 0. So x minus 2 squared equals 0. So you get x equals 0 here. And then if you bring your square over, square root, that's still a 0. Bring your 2 over, you get 2. So it crosses only at 0, 0 and at 2, 0. This question wanted you also to find the turning points. So I wanted to check you remembered how to do that, okay? So this is where you set dy by dx equals 0. At the minute you cannot differentiate that because you've got a bracket. So write the bracket out twice. Times out the bracket your normal way. Tidy that up. And then multiply through by your x. So you should have x cubed minus 4x squared plus 4x. Now you need to differentiate that. Do you remember how to differentiate? Power goes to front, take 1 off. Power goes to front, take 1 off. The x disappears, okay? And then you have to set that equal to 0. So it's 3x squared minus 8x add 4 equals 0. You can either try to factorize it or you can use your formula. I tend to just use the formula a lot here. So whenever you work all that out, you have your 2x values. You then have to work out the y because you're looking for a turning point. So take your time to work this out. Minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. I'll just get these wee x values out here so we can see what we're doing. 64 take away 4 times 3 times 4 is 16 over 6. So one of the x values is 8 plus square root of 16, which is 4, divided by 6, which gives you 2. And the other x value is 8 minus 4 divided by 6, 2/3. So you've got your x, sub it in to get your y. So when x equals 2, and you can just use it from the very top there, up there. So x equals 2, 2 minus 2 squared. And then do the same for when x equals 2/3. Sub it in. So it's 2/3, and then 2/3 minus 2. So you get your coordinates out of that. Put a wee box around those coordinates so it's easy to see. Then you'll put those on your wee graph. Part 3 is looking for the nature. For the nature, you differentiate again if you can remember. So here's my dy by dx. If you differentiate that again, you get 6x minus 8. And then you put each of the x's in. So I'll run through this point, x equals 2. So if you put x equals 2 into that, you get a positive, which means it's a minimum. So at x equals 2 and y equals 0, it's a minimum, so it's going to be down like that. And then you put through the other point when x is 2/3 and see what happens to dy by dx. So just sub it in. Hopefully that's a maximum one. And then part 4 is sketch the curve. So I have it done up the top there. And then part 5 is going to be find the area between the curve and the x-axis. Now I'm just going to try to get a few wee points here just to help me show you how to do that. This y point here works out to be 32 over 27. So it's 2/3 and 32 over 27. So it's 2/3 and 32 over 27. here somewhere. And when you put 2/3 into that, it should give you a negative value. It does indeed, so it's under 0, so it's maximum. Just wanted that to give the wee curved sketch, so you just make sure yours matches mine. Put your wee point in there, 2/3 and 32/27. Now I'm looking for this area, and this is the main bit that I want to check you can do. So we're going from 0 to 2. You put your wee curve in there. Now there's no point in putting the bracket curve in there because you can't integrate it. So we just use your expanded out version, which is here. So x cubed minus 4x squared add 4x dx. So try and make this a bit neater. There's my turning points. There's my x-axis intersection. There's my nature. And there's my curve. And what you're going to do now is you're going to integrate this, and you're going to sub in 2, then sub in 0 and take them away.